Hey, my lovelies. Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Daily Vibration. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. My name is Kamoy, and we are doing the Daily Vibration for today, May 3rd, 2021. I want to say happy Monday to you, or happy Moon Day to you, right? Mondays are ruled by the moon. Whether the moon is a big ball of plasma, whether it's a hollow planet, whether it is just a fake magnetic, ball, it does not matter. We know that that particular um, transit in the sky represents the tides changing. It represents the female cycle. It also represents your emotional cycle, right? So you need to pay attention to that. So we look at the allegories and the archetype of things. So the moon is going to represent the archetype of your emotions. This is where you're going to track your emotions, okay? In this realm. So today is the Monday, and Mondays is ruled by the moon. So you want to take that into consideration as you're moving throughout your day. And the moon is currently positioned in Aquarius. So we have the sun in Taurus, second house energy. And then we also have Aquarius energy popping on up here. Now, let me just tell you this right now as you are moving throughout your day, right? You want to be mindful that Aquarian energy, which is ruled by Uranus, can bring in energy where you feel a little bit rebellious, where you want to be your own unique individual self. You don't really want to be set or confined in anyone's boxes, okay? Especially emotionally. You want to detach from anything that really infringes on you being you today. So you can find people emotionally being very free today, and wanting to detach from other people's stuff. And now this may play out differently just depending on where your particular aspects lie in your own birth chart. So but collectively, all right, we have the moon in Aquarius, which means it's like a rebellious phase, unique phase. Nobody really wants to be trapped in anyone's boxes today, okay? Nobody really want to be told how they feel today, pretty much, okay? Especially when it comes to their money, right? Because we do have the sun in Taurus, which is all about, beauty, possessions, money, responsibility, so especially around the things where the materialistic aspect would be involved. Okay, so you want to be mindful of that as you're moving throughout the day. We also have the fifth month in the Gregorian calendar, and we've been talking about this for 3 days now. This is going to be the third day that we go through. The number 5 position is really in the center of our TikTok board, right? So we're gonna call the chart the TikTok chart, like we're playing tic-tac-toe with the date. Let's play tic-tac-toe with the date. So as we're playing tic-tac-toe with the date today, the number 5 always gets placed dead smack in the center, okay, of the chart, right? So we're playing chess with this today. We're playing tic-tac-toe. We're playing checkers today with the date. The number 5 always goes in the center of the tic-tac-toe chart, okay? Now, within that, we know that that's going to represent some type of major aspect within the day that we're moving through, right? And not just the day, but really the month, because we're talking about the fifth month here, right? We're talking about heart chakra energy here also, but we're also talking about the aspect of you knowing that we're moving throughout a month where you're going to have to really govern your emotions, right? So, and it's also like, if you think about it, it's like a feminine month, right? So Mother's Day happens in May, but you also have Cinco de Mayo happening in May too. Like that's the day that dead, right? So that's also an aspect of life being birthed again, because you can't have life without death. So death really just signifies life is on its way, right? And who brings life into existence but the feminine? Like we birth life, right? Not to say that we don't need the masculine aspect to do that, because the masculine aspect will be the intent, or the masculine aspect will be the representation of the number 1, that intention, right? Now, so within the month of May, or the number 5, you have to understand that it's going to be important for you to use emotional wisdom. All right. It's going to be important for you to use emotional wisdom, because if you're not using emotional wisdom, what you can find happening throughout this month is that you can find you're going to be restless, right? You can find that there are going to be things not moving the way that you want to. Like things are just stagnant and that they're not moving the way that you would like them to move, right? Or you can also find that you're operating within the energy of fear. Okay, so you want to be mindful of that. Okay, now I want to say this, all right, as we are sitting here within the energy for the third day of the month, however, you have access to your memory plane, right, which is on the mental plane. So within this mental plane, you have access to your imagination, right? You have access to you being able to think clearly, to put things more into a logical sense, right? You have access to aspects of yourself, right, where it doesn't necessarily have to be all emotional, right? So you can now begin to take the emotional energy from the heart chakra, and you can begin to embrace the change, right, within the heart chakra, and then you can utilize that and fuel that within your memory or your imagination to create something different. So you don't have to be stuck in the energy of the past pain or the past hurt or the past disappointment. You can literally begin to use your memory to create something different, to create something new. Okay, so you have that going on with the number three. The number three brings in an aspect of brilliance. The number three brings in an aspect of you being able to break free from that limited thinking, and broaden your thinking today, right? Broaden your thinking today. Now, as you're moving throughout the day, I do want to say this, right? Because we're talking about the little things. So why don't you broaden your thinking from the aspect of the little things that you may take for granted? Being able to brush your own teeth, being able to comb your own hair, being able to wake up and make your own cup of coffee, being able to get up and be able to purchase a cup of coffee, being able to get up and see, being able to get up and tell your family you love them, being able to get up and do the things that you want to do, the small things, being able to get up and drive yourself, being able to get up and dress yourself. Like the small things, those are small things that we sometimes can tend to take for granted. And then we tend to stress the small things, right? So you take the small things that you can appreciate, and you take the small things that you can't control, right? And you make them bigger. Like, for example, sitting in traffic. In rush hour traffic, you know that you're going to get stuck every time you make that right turn down, Beacon Street. You know that you're going to get stuck, right? 5:30 every day never fails. So why would you stress that? Why would you stress that? Why not create that time in traffic, maybe to have some meditative space, maybe to mentally get some clarity, maybe to emotionally give yourself some self-love, play some love music, maybe to fuel your mind and put on a YouTube video and study something, put on an audio book, just do something to get yourself in a place where you understand each little thing that you may think is just, a tiny speck is really a part of the whole, right? It's really a part of the whole. So when you think about it, it takes many, many grains of sand to make a glass jar, right? And within that aspect, each grain of sand that it contains within that glass jar was once an individual. They were once a small aspect, but now they're part of the whole, the glass jar, right? So think about that as you're moving throughout day to day. Think about that as you begin to gain access to your imagination and create. You can create a way out of a situation. You can create a way out of a feeling. You can create a way out of being limited within yourself. You can create that. That's not something that you have to sit in. right? So intuitively today, what you do need to be mindful of is that we're going to have the number 2 showing up in the date. We're going to have this showing up in the date, guys, at least for the next 9 years, right? So it's not until we get to 2030 that you begin to see maybe some of the energy is not as sensitive, right? So we have very sensitive emotional energy in the atmosphere today with the double 2. So you want to be mindful of that. You want to be mindful of just watch not to be around people that's not sharing your dreams. Watch not being mindful to be around people that every time you talk about something that you want to do, it's a negative response instead of a celebration, or instead of a cheerleader. Watch the people in your life that can't be happy for you, right? Those, remember we talk about the little things, and some of the little things we leave unchecked, right? You want to watch that. Watch the people that want to take more than they give. You want to watch that. Right? So then the number 2 gives you an opportunity to do so. Because the number 2 also vibrates within, the aspect of relationships. It vibrates within partnerships. It also vibrates within the realm of, knowing your soul's mission. So we're talking about the realm here of the soul plane. This is where wisdom dwells. This is where understanding dwells. Right? This is where divine information and access can begin to come in. This is where you can begin to trust yourself. This is where you begin to realize that you do not need to look outside of yourself to gain access to anything. Now, the thing about number 2 also is that you can find that within this number is there can be some selfishness attached to it. It can be also argumentative energy. Okay, remember we're dealing with the double 2s here. So even within the double 2s, we're still dealing with sensitive energy. So you have to be mindful of that, right? You got to be mindful of people that may not necessarily want to do their work, right? We're talking about highly sensitive energy here. This is people that may be putting their trust in the wrong people and then getting their feelings hurt. Okay, so are you doing that today? Remember, we're dealing with the little things here. So are you doing that today within the little things? Are you putting your trust in others, right, or in circumstances and situations that you shouldn't be? And then stressing over the little things because they're not working out the way that you think they should be working out, right? We do have a passive arrow in the date today, and sometimes it's okay to be passive, but we also have the arrow of the planet today, right? So we got passive energy, but we also have the arrow of the planet showing up in the date today. So what are you planning within the little things that you are moving throughout the day, right? Do you plan to enjoy the little things in life? Do you plan not to stress over the little things that you can't control? Keeping in mind that when you add one little thing to a next little thing, 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 right, y'all? You begin to it's not a little thing anymore. That little thing becomes big. So think about it. If you're adding a little thing that's positive to a little thing that's positive to a little thing that's positive, before you know it, you have a big bubble of positivity. But that also works on the flip side. If you keep adding a little bit of negative, 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 that chips away at the aspect of, the place in you that you can experience beautiful things. That just adds more experiences of negative things. So you got an opportunity today to really do some things within this energy. You can be passive and let things bother you, let the little things bother you, right? Or you can be the planner within this planner energy today, and you can allow the little things to guide you and appreciate the little things. Right now, we also have the number one in the day, and the number one is showing up today, asking you to tap into your verbal communication skills, tap into that throat chakra, honey. Right? The number one is about creatively expressing the divine through your ego. The problem is, some people, you know, sometimes, not even some people, sometimes anyone can get caught up in the tendency of allowing their ego to take over. Everybody have a little bit of narcissism in them. Everybody have a little bit of ego in them. Everybody have a little bit of feminine, masculine. We have it all in us. We have it all in us. That's why I say, if you are seeking perfection, you got to look at your imperfections, because that's where you're going to find your perfection. Because it is within your imperfections that you are most perfect. That's where you find the perfect self, honey. Those imperfect experiences have you to chip away until you find the perfect you, which has always been there. You just got to be. Right? So the number one gives you an opportunity to use that throat chakra to express with intention and force and power and creativity of the divine through your ego. Tell your ego how to feel today if you have something to do and you don't feel like doing it. You may have to tell yourself how to feel. You may have to tell your ego to, no, we're not thinking like that today, because that's not conducive to where we headed. No, that's not going to get us, the experience that we want. You may have to tell your ego to fall back today. Yeah, you may have to do that. To destroy your ego, though, I think, you see, that makes me, I don't look at it because then that takes away from the law that you were separated from anything, right? But you're all things, right? So let me explain this to you, which is kind of difficult sometimes for the human mind to wrap around this, okay? You are all things, but yet you are no thing. You are all things, but yet you are no thing. You are connected to all things, but yet you're connected to nothing. Right? So, as the universe expands and retracts, so do you expand and retract. This is not the only life experience and lifetime that you've had. You may have had it in different planes of existence, but you've had multiple life experiences. Okay, you've had multiple life experiences even within this one lifetime. Let's just be for real. So even if we're just talking about this particular lifetime, you have had multiple experiences. The number one gives you an opportunity for you to be able to recognize that the ego don't have to work against you, and the ego don't have to overtake you, and the ego is actually here to help you. It's not supposed to control you. So you can tap into your ego when you need that confidence to, speak at that, that public engagement. You can tap into your ego when you need confidence about this business that your spirit told you should go forth and do. Ego will give you that confidence to move in and walk into that business meeting and give your pitch and walk out with that money that you need, honey. Ego will give you an opportunity to walk into a place with confidence, just knowing who you are. Right? But if that ego is not balanced, because you have to see, the ego can be full of masculine energy. Right? The ego can be full of masculine energy. Just like if you're not careful, somebody that's spiritual could be very overly emotional, but they don't know that. Somebody that has a gift in spirituality can definitely, or that's sensitive to energy, can be very emotional and don't know it. So they're super sensitive to energy and they're highly emotional because they're out of balance. This is about balance. There's duality in everything: masculine, feminine, male, female, up, down, in, out, right? Left, right. The divine energy that you can tap into has always been here. That's where you come from. You come from a divine source of energy. If I say to you that you were a thought before you even existed in this physical form that you are now, what would you say about that? That you were a thought. You were a thought in someone's mind. Whether it's, oh my gosh, I hope I don't get pregnant, and oh my goodness, I want a baby, whatever that was. Whether it's, it could have been in either end, either opposite end, but either which way, a baby was thought of, which was you, which then sparked that intention, right? And then created a space for you to be able to come forth. Created a space and held the time. See, we listen. Can I just say this? Because I really, I don't, I really want to be able to give you guys some substance and some takeaway. Time is not what we think time is, right? Manifestation and creation is not what we've been taught. So you can create a space for your manifestation, and then you can allow the process of time as we know it, right, to unfold for that manifestation to appear in this realm. But as far as is concerned in the spiritual realm, as soon as you think of a thought or something, it exists. This is why I spend a lot of time manning the fields of my mind. I spend a lot of time in my head, and not to mention that I got some Gemini energy, some Mercury energy showing up in my chart. So yeah, I spend some time in my head. You have to constantly man the field of your mind. You're gonna have to. This is a year of mental and emotional chess, and I've been saying that since the top of the year. Yeah. So it's gonna be important for you guys to really use your power, y'all. We got the number 6 showing up also. Right? We talked about why the number 6 showed up. You can go back to the first of the month. Okay, I think that would be you can go back to day number 34. At day number 34, I broke down exactly where the number 6 comes from and why it's part of the month. You got heart chakra energy showing up. You got third eye chakra showing up. And you also have throat chakra showing up within the number 1. Creation or destruction is showing up with the number 6. So you either creating something or you destroying something, and that does not have to be physically, guys. This can be mentally or this can be emotionally. Take responsibility for your emotions. Take responsibility for your thoughts. Take responsibility. Don't let nobody control how you feel. Listen. Whoever controls how you feel emotionally controls what you do, what you feel, how you see the world, how you see yourself. Okay, so you want to be able to control yourself emotionally. Not everybody is going to get you. Not everybody's going to understand you. Not everybody's going to love you the way that you need to be loved. But you can create your boundaries, and you can create that space and allow the process, aka time. See, what we consider, like when you begin to tap into the unseen realm, what you consider to be time is really just a process of manifestation unfolding. Mm, mm. Listen to what I just said. What we consider to be time is really just a process of manifestation unfolding. The problem is sometimes you be jumping in and out of two realms or different realms where you're not holding the space and creating a safety net, right? For that manifestation to be pressed out. I'm gonna have to talk about that one in class on Saturday. The little things, y'all. Create the space for the little things. Create the space for the little things so you can step into gratitude. Create the space for the little things so you can just be thankful. Whether it's that you're not where you were, whether it's I'm glad, that I can, like I said, touch my toes, brush my teeth, comb my own hair, take a shower, dress myself. Whether it's being thankful just for love, for being able to see the sun, for being able to feel the sun on your skin. You know how much people can't feel the sun on their skin when they want to? You know how much people can't physically get up and walk out and stand in the sun on their own? Don't stress the little things, y'all. Create the space to release those things that you can't control. The little things that you get frustrated over. Your wife always being late. Your best friend always being late. Your kids asking for things at the last minute. The friend that don't find it disrespectful to keep invading your space, the needy coworker, whatever it is, whatever the little thing that annoys you, take your power back. Direct that energy. Creation and destruction is in the atmosphere. Verbal communication is in the atmosphere. Your intuitive energy, trusting that, is in the atmosphere today. Gateway to your memories in the atmosphere, as well as change using your heart chakra. That's in the atmosphere today too. Be mindful of that number 5 though, because that can bring in some mania for some people. In conjunction with the number 2. All right, y'all. So we're gonna wrap this on up. Okay, I want you guys to do something kind for yourself. Love yourself. Honor yourself. All right. Now, keep it in mind, right? You can't be afraid of the dark. Out of darkness comes enlightenment. All right. I appreciate each and every one of you. Like I said, I really started to sit down and get in front of the camera. That just did not work out today. I tried a couple of times. It just didn't work out. All right. I'm going to see y'all in tomorrow's daily vibration. We are at day number 36. We have 64 more days left. Okay. Don't forget, we got passive energy in the atmosphere, as well as being able to plan. We got the planner's arrow in the date today too, guys. I'm going to see you guys in tomorrow's daily vibration. Bye, my loves.